Today, we're looking at the Maono BA92 microphone boom arm. They did send this out for review, but that will not bias my opinion in any way. I was mostly interested in this guy as it has a different approach than my Rode PSA1 boom arm, where it comes in from a lower position instead of an upper position. My main complaint with my PSA1 is that it would obstruct the view on my monitor when gaming with friends, so this left part would just be kind of obstructed, along with just never being in the perfect spot when talking. With this being a similar price, I figured it would be smooth to operate while taking care of my biggest complaint. But did it? Let's find out in today's review. Starting off with installation. Installation is very easy. It comes with 4 parts. First, you have the base mount, which you simply just screw onto your desk. Second, you attach the microphone attachment to the actual boom arm itself, which you do just by fitting it in place and then tightening. Then you place the first boom arm on top of the base mount. There is no way that you can mix it up as there is only one option. Similarly, for 4, you attach the second arm. Then you attach your microphone for the 5th step. The Shure SM7B is on the heavier side for microphones, but thankfully it comes with a small Allen wrench where you can tighten the spring so that it holds it in place. Last, you have routing with your cables. On the underside, you have 2 plastic covering rails which you can slide out of place. They do warn you to not try to pull those out of place, as at first appearance that's kind of what it looks like. In the middle of these plastic pieces, you can attach your XLR cable to prevent it from moving, which I thought was a great little quality of life improvement. Then you slide it back into place and you are all set. Overall setup time, including the unboxing, is about 3 to 5 minutes. Moving on to the build quality. The arms are made from aerospace aluminum, which is marketing speak for, well, aluminum. The base and microphone mount are also metal, which I like as that makes it less likely to break. The only plastic piece is the cable ties, which feel like quality plastic. I love that they have actual mounts for your XLR cable to keep it cozy and tight, which is something my Rode PSA1 does very poorly. The amount that attaches to the desk has an acceptable surface area where I'm semi-confident and won't puncture my desk. When they are too small, they have a lot of force coming down on them, as of course it's very long and you have a lot of weight that is all putting into that one spot, which can cause cheaper desks like mine to break. The wider the surface area, the more that can spread out and the less likely that becomes. The mount also has some rubber on the top to prevent from scratching your desk and adding a bit more stability as it doesn't slide around. The twist tie to tighten it to your desk is solid and what I prefer, as it makes it easy to reach under an unscrew/screw. Again, better than my PSA1. The next best part is that how this is made, you won't be rubbing against a wall with your arm, which can be a problem with other arms as it sits flush. So for example, if your wall's right here, some other mounts, when you're rotating it like this, it'll actually rub against the wall. With this one, it's far enough forward on the desk that when you're rotating it this way and this way, that it won't actually connect with the wall. The length is a bit shorter than I was expecting, but that's because I didn't actually look at the exact specs, so I do recommend doing that before you purchase. As for movement, this is the part that I dislike the most. For the price, I was expecting nearly the same quality as my Rode PSA1, as that's $100. This one is $70 to $80. This is not as smooth, but it is like 70 to 80% of the way there. I can move the arms left and right into the perfect position easily and have no complaints in that regard. If I'm being ultra picky, that could be smoother by actually making it all a single piece instead of stacking. But my main complaint comes into play when trying to adjust the height. As often when I try to move it up and down, it will actually pop out of the joint itself, even when using the included tool to tighten it down and prevent that from happening, which again reiterates that this should really be a single piece, as it would fix that problem. Additionally, things were not improved much when I increased or decreased the tension of the spring arm itself, as it is a very tiny screw which has limited rotations, which makes fine adjusting extremely difficult, where finding that Goldilocks range is really, really difficult, where it is either too loose, where it sags, or too tight that I have to actually arm wrestle it to get it to move. While I understand the Shure SM7B is a heavy microphone, I would expect a product in this price range to handle it without any problems. They say it does support up to 4.4 pounds or 2 kg. The Shure SMB is 1.6 lbs or 0.73 kg. The best thing I found is if I actually hold the joint first and the second piece on the tip, and then I can move the height easier. But my PSA1 is night and day better in this aspect, and this level of performance reminds me a lot of $20 to $50 microphones. And honestly, I'm quite disappointed with the performance here. With my PSA1, I can use one hand anywhere where I grab it and just move it wherever I need to, and it stays in place. Where with this guy, I feel like I have to use two hands most of the time to get it exactly where I want it to go. Outside of the lateral view like this, I won't move it too much because then I have to move my head. But thankfully, with the shape of this arm, you don't really need to do a lot of constant fine tuning because it's kind of like you set it up one time and you're good to go outside of moving it into your face, because height wise, it pretty much stays the same because you don't have to fine and adjust it because you have plenty of room up here on the top where you can actually see me and I can see you and the screen and everything like that, which is wonderful. And I have plenty of room underneath as well to get stuff done on my desk and wherever, so I don't feel like I'm as crammed in and congested as I do with a lot of other boom arms, especially when they come over the head, because then you're trying to, this whole section of your body just stops working. It actually coming down from a bottom angle is really awesome and was the main thing that I was looking for in this microphone arm. The tip can be moved 360 degrees. The tightening screw is plastic, which is fine. I have no issues with the ball joint. The ball joint is actually excellent. It moves smoothly and it holds its place without any issues. And maybe that's what they were talking about, that holds 4.4 pounds, because the adjustment for this is perfect. But the arm spring just seems a little bit wimpy. I don't think the arm spring is actually wimpy. I think it's just the adjustment is way too small because you can't actually see it from your angle, but maybe I'll get some B-roll of it. I'm going to be honest, I'll probably forget to do that. The tightening for this is so much bigger that you have so much more fine-tune, like ability to fine-tune how tight or loose it is, where with the screw, it's just so itty-bitty that you just don't have that. Anyways, in my own personal space, I find putting it away isn't as easy as my PSA1, just because the vertical space with the PSA1 is easier to make work. But I think this one has more attractive appearance, and the quality of life upgrade of being able to have my full view above the microphone along with more space underneath is just, oh, it's so good and exactly what I was looking for. As often, I usually just move it into place and then I forget that I even have a microphone in front of me, which is not the case with my PSA1. So moving on to the conclusion in the end, I think this is a solid boom arm. I think that if they made the two arms into a single arm, it would solve almost all of the issues with I have with it, because it would make it more sturdy, along with making it a lot more smoother to operate. As it would be one piece, you could actually do a little more engineering for where they connect, that it just wouldn't come loose, and you could kind of probably lube that a little bit and it would be smoother to move back and forth. Additionally, if they were to mostly increase the size of that screw to be able to fine tune better the spring and be able to be better fine tuned, as again, I think the spring is actually just fine, but it's the adjustment that isn't fine, which makes it seem like the spring is wimpy. Otherwise, I have no complaints. I love the build quality. It feels good, and it does exactly what I want it to do. I think it's mostly built for those who do podcasts, meetings, streaming, or voice work, as it keeps the vision clear while showing more of you, as I think that's just also good, because sometimes with streaming, and you can see it in my other videos, having a microphone that's just constantly all over your face, it's not good for the viewer, and it's not good for you yourself as the person interacting with the device itself. Especially when you're using a dynamic microphone, it's nice to get nice and close without it obstructing everything. And that's just wonderful. Anyways, enough of me repeating myself. Non-affiliate links are in the description for those of you interested. If you do pick it up, I seriously would love to hear your thoughts on it. Additionally, if I run into any problems, I will mention it in the pinned comment. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more like this. Otherwise, I will see you and your beautiful face on the next one. God bless and peace out.